Mm.
Sorry.
That's okay.
As I said, I'm not the best typist in the world. And so far, at the moment now, you do not really have to Russian, come on. So, come on. So the title of this particular assignment I want to say is Russian Revolution. All right. I'm going to give him some instructions. I'll say, for example, maybe I have a key question, which is the, something, and the key question would be
any question.
Any question, something like that. What was the impact of the Russian Civil War, something like that.
You could just do question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark.
But the main thing is the way I use it most of the time, because I'm not, as I say, I use it for flipped learning. It's only because of COVID-19 that it's become something that we use, you know, every day. So I'm just going to look for something. I'm going to add some work. So let's see. Now, because this is not my account, I'm not too sure this is going to, you know, work. But what I would do is from here, you could now add something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go on YouTube at the moment now, because I don't really have any files set up on this particular computer. So I could go on YouTube and I could actually look for something to do with the Russian Revolution. And as you can see, a whole lot of different things come up. And let's just pretend that I'm interested in actually looking at this world history here. No, let's look at this one here. It's just 7 minutes, and that's the one I want to use. I click on it, and let's pretend, or let's assume that this particular piece of work here is what my students are going to use as a podcast or some research to actually understand the Russian Revolution. So I'm going to go back to my instructions, and I'm going to say something like,
use video.
Hi guys, I'm really sorry, I'm not the best typist.
Okay. It's because we don't have that much time. I understand you're under pressure to try and finish
I'm not even using my computer, so the whole tabs are different from exactly. All right. So I could give an instruction, you know, use this YouTube link below, study and you know, give me some kind of feedback, or write an essay or maybe a paragraph, and I'll give that instruction there. And what would happen is I would post it. So if I want to assign this piece of work, I want to assign it to all students. So I'll click all students. So we're assuming that I've got like 20 students here. I'm going to give a due date. Now, with the due date, I want them to do this on Monday. One thing I like about Google Class, it understands the educational system. So it's not giving me Sunday as a date. It's gone straight for Monday, because it obviously knows that I would probably want to, you know, engage with the student on Monday. So I've got it Monday, that's the due time. I might give some time if I want to. Time is optional. I might want to say, okay, by lunch. And then set it. I might also want to give this particular piece of work a topic name. And the reason why it's good to do this is as you set more pieces of work, all your topics would actually be listed, and students who have missed the lesson could actually go in and pick the topic that they've missed. So I'm calling this one Again, the Russian Revolution. And once I've done all that, I can now assign this work to my students, and simply it's there. So you've got the Russian Revolution with my capital H misplaced, but I'm sure by now we understand I'm not the best typist in the world. And I've got my previous piece of work here that it's done. Now, when you set work, obviously you want to actually monitor. And one thing about Google Class is you can actually monitor and see what your students are doing. So you can go straight into, hold on. And like I said, you've got all your topics here. So if you want to just check and see what's going on, see if your students have done the work, and you can see it's been assigned to one student, because I've only got one student. The student has not done the work, but imagine if I've got 30 students here. What would happen is you would see those who have done the work, and you would see those who have not done the work. That's what would happen. And the good thing about this is, if you're not happy, you could actually, and like Mr. Thomas did say, with Google Class, everything is interfaced with your email. And remember, you also have the students' emails. So if I click on that, all right, I'm not happy with this particular student. He's not done his work. So I'm going to now send him an email. I can send him an email. Oh, sorry, I'll click on him. And I can send him an email. All right, so this is, and I could just say, you know, I am still waiting for your work, or something of the sort, just to make it brief, and, you know, just round it up and send it to him. So this is the joy of Google Class. And so Towo would receive that, and what Towo would do, he would maybe panic and then quickly, you know, email me and explain why he has not done his work. And so, but remember, we've only got one student in this class, and typically you would have so many. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to show you my you know, normal classes, obviously, because of what we call in England here GPDR, so I can't do that. But in a nutshell, this is how you set up a Google Class. Now, there's so many other things that you could do, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I have enough time to even go through all the kind of things that you can do. But I think, let's see, So you could go into your instructions here. So this is the instruction for the Russian Revolution. If you want, if you're not happy with what you've done, you could edit it, you could change it, you could delete it, and so on and so forth. And like Mr. Thomas said, it's not difficult. I'm not particularly, even though we've been using Google Class for some time, like I said, it's not something we use all the time. We tend to use it to just set homework. However, with obviously COVID now, it has become our main instrument of teaching. In the UK, we don't at the moment now actually have face-to-face contact for safety reasons also. But there is that facility here. So if you, let's go back to the beginning here. There is the facility in case you actually do want to have a kind of, you know, face-to-face teaching with the students, then you could actually do that. But I'm looking for the icon and I just can't find it yet. I can't find it here. But anyway, I think there we are. So if you want, you can actually give grades. You have to set up the marks and you can give grades. But I think with the time that I've got, and I can probably come back and see if there's anyone that I've done earlier that I could show that wouldn't show anyone's names or anything like that later on. So I think I'm just going to round up here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Yemi. I am aware that we don't have too much time, but this is recorded, and for every subscriber, they get a link to this. And so you can replay and sort of guess in between what she's trying to say. Also, at this point, I would say that there's opportunity to learn more. Drop your email if you're still not clear. Remember, this is a mixed audience. Some are just looking for certain things, some are starting all over. So we can't have, if we're going to teach everything, we'll be here for a long time. And we're conscious that for a webinar, you know, maximum, I don't even want us to spend 2 hours, but maximum, we shouldn't be here for longer than that. And we've already skipped over an hour. So Mrs. Odetunde, thank you so much. I know there's so much more you could still teach.
I know there was.
Yeah, but like I said, you know, if we have people who still want further clarity, or you still want to know a bit more, just drop your email and we'll find a way around that. Before we go on to Mrs. Olaye, Mr. Raphael, there was a question for you. I'll take that quickly. Okay, the question is this. Okay, let me just read it properly. And the question is, if I want to use the Google Classroom with a group of children, I am not in a school setting, do I still need to set up a Gsuite? This is from Runkeshe Mowo. So she runs an after school, so it's not, but she wants to use it with a group of children. Does she still have to set up the Gsuite? Mr. Raphael.
Okay, thank you for that question. The Gsuite is designed for, in fact, it's designed for schools. However, there are 1, 2, 3 different types of accounts that you can actually create with Google. There's a personal account, which every user of Google has. With that personal account, you can set up Google Classroom for yourself, okay? There's also a Gsuite account designed for schools. That's number 2. And then there's a Gsuite account designed for non-profits. Okay, so you can make use of that account. In the process of setup, you see all of that, which category you belong to. And so you just probably just pick what suits your purpose or your objective as an institution. Okay, so yes, you can actually use Gsuite. If you are not a full-fledged school, you can also use Gsuite, but it all depends on what account that you are using.
Okay. I have another question. I'm only going to take this one question for Mr. Raphael so that Mrs. Olaye can do her session before we now come back to full Q&A. But this is from Mr. Larry Akela. Please, I would like to know the steps. If it's going to be a long process, Mr. Raphael, then we'll take it after Mrs. Olaye's session. But let me just ask. He said, please, I would like to know the steps involved in having an offline access in order to work offline, that is, without the internet, with Google Documents, Sheets, and Slides in Chrome.
Okay. I'm trying to understand that question very well.
If I'm not wrong, maybe it's talking about, I'm not sure you can get access.
Because these services are cloud-based, meaning that you need to be connected to the internet in order to use them. Probably you're referring to giving a work, you have to download the work offline, and probably when you are offline, you do it and then you upload when you're done. I don't know if that's what you mean, but basically, all of these tools that has been discussed, they are all cloud-based tools. You need to be connected to the internet, okay? But you can, as an educator, you can give classwork assignments or materials to your students for which they can download or they can have access to, and then they can go through it offline at their own leisure, at their own free time. They can go through it. So
So it has to be more of you having your downloads ready rather than saying, can I have Google offline? I don't think there's any, I don't think that is possible. Okay, I have people dropping the, good afternoon, I still need still need clarity with Mrs. Odetunde's session. So that email is noted. Like I said, drop your emails if you need further clarity. It would have to be another session. It wouldn't be today. So we're going to go on to our last session. We can take question and answer. Mrs. Olaye, thank you so much. I am aware that we got you out of bed. She's in the States. It's like 7 a.m. at time when we had already gotten up and eaten breakfast. So I don't take it for granted. Thank you so much for being here and for bringing your own expertise.
Thank you.
Shola had to tell you her major area, but I know she's an IT. I was chatting with her yesterday and I said, how do you live? People are earning like God knows how much a day on IT, 400 pounds, 600 pounds. I said, why are you teaching? She said, I just love teaching. I just love teaching. And I love it when I meet women like this. Honestly, I do. Because sometimes when we're talking to teachers, amongst ourselves, sometimes teaching is just absolutely amazing. Sometimes you can't explain it. It is. And so thank you for being here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So like I said, maybe she'll be able to fill in some of the gaps from Mrs. Odetunde's session, but we're assuming now that you have a bit of understanding of how to create a class. Okay. And so now how do I know quality assurance? How do I know I have taught? How do I access? How do I assess my children? Mrs. Akola Rauli, I keep wanting to say Rauli. Mrs. Olaye is going to help us with that. Okay, so over to you.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me. Yes, I just came out of bed. I wasn't sure I was going to do this session. So whatever I'm going to present might be a bit choppy. I hope it won't be because I am a professional. So I have been, my profession is actually IT, but I went into teaching about 18 years ago and I have a passion for it. So unlike Mrs. Odetunde, we use Google Classroom as part of our curriculum. We share assignments all the time with our students on Google Classroom. So I work as a technology teacher, but I'm also a technology coach for the teachers, the whole school from K through 12. So I help teachers to start up their Google Classroom. I help students, I just basically help them to integrate technology into the curriculum. So I'm going to share my screen and talk about the topic I've been asked to talk about. I am aware of time, so I put a timer on for myself so that I don't go past my time. So over here now, it's about 8:15. So I hope I could just talk till 8:30. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I started off, I think, hang on one second. Okay, I'm going to just do a quick presentation, then I'm going to, while Ms. Odetunde was talking, I started making an assignment also with the Russian Revolution so that I would just pick up from where she stopped. My topic today is supposed to be assessment. So how do you share assessment with your classroom? Make a copy of maybe a worksheet or an assessment sheet with your students, and you're able to see what they do in real time. So how do we do that? So this is where I started creating an assessment. I also put the Russian Revolution in 7 minutes that she had as an example. The difference was that I quickly made a document on Google. So we use we use all the Google suites. We use Google Doc, Google Sheets, Google Forms, everything we use is Google. You can use any other assessment or any other platform you want and upload it to Google. It doesn't really matter, but that's what I'm familiar with. And also like her, I made a test classroom because for security reasons, protection, I cannot share my actual classroom. So I made a quick document on, and I'm going to share this document with the students. I said, use this document to write a reflection on the video that you have been, given in the classroom. And this is a video and this is the document. But the main thing here is when you add this document, before you share your assignment with the students, this is a very important place. So it's like, I hope I haven't. Okay, no, I haven't. Okay, this is very important. It defaults here to students can view files. That is the default. Once you share the assignment, you cannot change it. So it's very important that you click on this down arrow and you make a copy for each student. Okay, when you make the copy, then you can you hear me? Oh, okay. I'm using a headphone, so I'm hearing myself.
We can hear you loud and clear. We can hear
okay.
you very well.
Okay, so make a copy for each student and then you can share the assignment. So it's shared, the assignment should be there, and now this is the assignment, research on Russian Revolution. If I click on the assignment, it shows that it has been shared with one student. So like her, I only have one student in my classroom. But one other thing I did is in the people, I invited my daughter to be a teacher. So you can see that you can collaborate with other teachers, and the other teachers can also share assignments in your classroom, and they can also see the students' work. So if you're working collaboratively with other people, this is how you do it. So teachers here, students here, you click on here, you add the teachers, click on here to add the students. But like she also said, it's easier to share your class code so that you're not putting, you're not putting the names. If you have 30 students, you have to put the names, and you might miss a spelling or something. So it's easier to just share the class code. So sometimes in my class, I just click on that. When the students come in, they see it. Or I just take a screenshot and I send an email to all, and then they can join the classroom. And if you also invite their parents, the parents can, so you can invite students, you can invite parents. If you click on here, it shows you, oh no, not that one, but it shows you that you can invite parents as well. The parents would not see the classroom as is, but the parents will get email on the students' work. So my own topic is to talk about assessment. Now, when I click on the work and I see the students assigned the work, I click on the name of the student. So I made myself a student, Rowley, and I click to see if Rowley has done the work. In here, it shows you, I'm gonna close this. It shows you the student's name up here, and the student can do their work down here. It shows you what the student is doing. And on the side here, you can, when you're done grading, you can just grade the student and you click on return and it returns the assignment to the student. Also, you can give a comment here to the student, like maybe they haven't done something, you highlight what they haven't done, and you can click on comment here. So if you want to, it's not showing right because it's a new classroom. It's just trying to show me things like, okay, it's new, it's trying to teach me what to do. So that's another thing with Google. If you're doing it for the first time, it will give you hints on how to do things, and that can help you. But if my student has done work here and there's a particular sentence that is not making sense, I can highlight it, click on the comment here. This is the comment link, and I can say, little Johnny, what have you done here? Or this is not clear, can you reword it? So that is giving the students real-time feedback, okay? I'm going to go back to my presentation. Oh no, not presentation yet, sorry. I'm going to go back to the instructions. Another thing in here is when you create when you create the class, the classwork on Russian Revolution. Okay. At the beginning, I missed that. I missed showing you guys that. It shows you that, okay, let me just create a new classroom so you can see. It shows you on the side that there's a rubric here. So you can add your rubric because you need rubric for assessment. You can add your rubric in, right when you're creating the work, or you can add like your own made rubric for the students to see. But whichever way you add it, either on here or if you add it as a document, the students will see, so they know the assessment criteria. Okay, so maybe we can have another session on how to make rubrics, just in case people are not familiar with rubrics. But rubrics are like on a scale, maybe 1 to 5. Usually we try not to give students 0 because at least whatever they've done should count for something. Even if they write their name, just give them a 1, instead of a 0. But we usually have assessment, like 5 would be like exceeded, meeting, approaching, or below. So anyway, that is just how assessments are done. I'm going to go back. Sorry. I'm a bit choppy, like I said. Do forgive me. I'm not sharing. Okay. So your students are able to see the assessment real time. You share your rubric, or you can make your own rubric. And like I said, Google Classroom also has a template. You can comment on the document. So the document I showed you earlier that you're sharing with your students, to do their work. And we do this because it's easier to make your document on Google Classroom to share with the student. But if you're sharing a worksheet with them, there's something else, and this was actually out of what I was going to discuss, but it just popped into my head. There is a Google add-on. I'm not sure if it's this one. I have a lot of add-ons on my, there's a Google add-on called Web Paint. So if you're sharing with them a document that they cannot access and modify or type on, you can advise your students to have a Google add-on called Web Paint. And with Web Paint, they just click on it and they can write on top of the document. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to click out of here to get out. Oh no, that's not it. Anyway. Web Paint. Sorry, I am not fully awake. Okay. Oh, my time is up.
Please just finish your session. Don't, the time is up. Whoever does not want to hear it, but we'll just finish and still take question and answer. So please just go through.
Okay, I only have a minute more. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I don't use this all the time because I just got it for my students to show them how to use it. And I'm trying to get out of it. And I don't remember how. Okay, this is it. Sorry. Yeah, I woke up. So going back to this. So that's just actually, I think I'm done. So if you want more, like on my LinkedIn, that is my LinkedIn, send me an invite, I would accept. I have quite a few how to do. So I have how to use the web paint. I have how to have etiquette in your virtual classroom. I have quite a few resources I have shared on that. So yeah, I'm actually done. So I'm glad I was able to stay within my time frame. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Or can you stop sharing me?
No, I think because everybody else is enabled, you stop.
Okay, I have to stop on my side. Okay, stop sharing screen.
Thank you so much, Sister.
Yeah,
thank you.
I hope I was able to give you guys what you're looking for in terms of assessment and feedback.
Yeah, we don't have enough time. There's no doubt. Webinars are never enough, and we can't be here, like I said, for too long. What I'm hoping is, what I'm believing is recorded. Panelists, participants still have access to it. You can sort of go through it and still learn something from it. We have said that if they want to know more, because sometimes it's the interest, webinars are free and sometimes people just come on board, but really, if there are people that are interested in really breaking it down, they should drop I have 1 or 2 people, or about 4 people that have dropped their emails already. So we can always organize something. Like you said, a rubric. How do you create your own? Mrs. Fadaunsi said that we're still going to take questions. Mrs. Fadaunsi, and that is so true. For people that work with me, they know that I'm always saying Google is your best friend, YouTube is your best friend. But what I find is people want you to tell them what you've read, and that's why we do webinars. So what she said here is the best training for Gsuite is the Google Educators Training offered by Google. It is true. Google has training. So once you sign on it's just that, sometimes you get to a point you're stuck and you need, somebody, but at least go through that and you will be able to piece together what is being said here. Mrs. Shemal said, thank you, Mrs. Olayeye. We'll be able to start working with what you have taught today. So yeah, so they got something. I'm getting emails being dropped, so we'll take it from there. But before we, there's another question I want us to talk about, you know, the work ethics you said. Like you said, let's quickly talk about that, you know, virtual, because I know that as teachers, we might be assuming it's, you know, to think it's going to be the same way. And with some of my colleagues, we've already seen instances where it is definitely not the same way. So we might share 1 or 2 or 3 ethics before we round up. But I think I have another question here. Let me see. I think this is from this is a maths teacher. I said, in subjects, let me scroll down. In subjects that involve more of live illustrations, table presentations, diagrams, etc., like the traditional white blackboard, please, how can I incorporate all the above using Google Classroom? Who would want to answer that? Okay.
I can take. Okay. There's something called Google Jamboard, and it's like, it's a new add-on by Google, and it works like a whiteboard. So you can even use it with your, like, as we're having a meeting now, we can have a Google Jamboard where people can in there, their thoughts, their questions, you know, so that way you can use that with your students as well. And I also have a session on my LinkedIn on how to add Google Jamboard. So you're welcome.
So quite fine with teachers, because I want to believe that.
In addition to that, I was also considering the place of using Google Meet alongside with your classroom to have a live classroom session with your students. So you can integrate Google Meet into the classroom.
Yeah.
And then that provides you. Okay.
For Google Meet, I use Google. We use Google Meet since February because I teach in Bahrain, and we started COVID break since February. So Google Meet works very well with Google Classroom. You can make your Google Meet through your Google Classroom, and that way your students cannot invite anybody, only those Google Classroom.
Okay, so it actually limits interruptions from outside as well.
It limits interruption from outsiders. It also puts security on the session, because if you make your invite on the Google Calendar, after the class is done, people can still come in if they click on the link. But if it's done through the Google Classroom, nobody can come in until the teacher is in the classroom. So, so using Google Meets with Google Suite is the best.
Okay. Mrs. Fadausi, she's on LinkedIn. She has a post on LinkedIn. Just look for Rao.
Olayeye. Yes.
Olayeye. Is it Olayeye or Olayeye?
Olayeye.
I'm so sorry. Forgive me.
It's okay.
Olayeye.
It's okay.
Because you know Yoruba, those two pronunciations can mean 2 different things. You know, so Mrs. Olayeye.
Even I say Olayeye. I mean, because like in America, people are like Ole I, Ole E. I'm like, no, say Ola and Yeye. Put it together, Olayeye.
Don't mispronounce my name, please do not. Okay, so I hope we've answered that. One of the panelists, I don't understand. Please put your questions on the Q&A rather than, and I saw a couple of people raising their hands. If it's to ask a question, I'll prefer that you put it in the chat box, because if we start enabling people to speak, we might get a lot of background noise, and I really want to avoid that. So if you were raising your hand because you have a question, please put it in the question and answer box. I saw something here, but I don't know what the person is trying to say. Let me see here. So it's saying data consumption, vote for financial considerations. I don't know what that means. But if we have any questions and answers, put it there, but we're slowly getting towards the end. Now, I want us to talk about the culture, the ethics for what should teachers look out for. So I'll ask Mrs. Odetunde to help us with that. As a teacher, in terms of, you know, what do you do to enable you to have that control over your class? I know that you really cannot, but what do you do? What do you put in place that enables you to at least have that, you know, because they have to learn and you have to get feedback from them. What do you do? And then I'll go to Mrs. Olaye as well. So if you can help us with one or two things that you do, that'll be good.
Okay, all right. Like I said, obviously because of COVID now, it's become the main form of teaching. We just set some ground rules. We use 2 VLEs. We've got one called Doddle. And with the Doddle, it's something we've been using forever, you know, to set homework. We used to also use showmyhomework.co and all that. So we first interface with the students through Doddle. So on Doddle, I would announce that I'm going to set up a Google class. I'm going to share the code on Doddle, and then I just have some ground rules, some simple ground rules. You know, I said, please, could you please respond or email through Google Class, through classwork, rather than the stream? Because when they actually respond through stream, everybody sees what they're asking, and sometimes they can, you know, it could be embarrassing for even them, you know, and you have all sorts of students responding, are you all right? Why don't you know this? That is easy out there, or something of the sort. So I say to them, I said, please make sure you just respond through Google Class, email, and that will come directly to me and that wouldn't be shared with anyone else. And I basically say, you know, you've got your homework is on set on this. Could you make sure that you complete your homework within time? And unlike Mrs. Olaye, we have not started using it, you know, like on, you know, face to face yet. We've got the app there, we've got everything set up there, we've got Google Meet, and the plan was if COVID, the lockdown was to continue, then we would have started using that, because obviously it's important that the students have some kind of, you know, facial contact with their teacher. So basically it's like that. But because you are continuously talking to the children, you know, typing, you know, and communicating with the children in real time, you could actually tell them off if you need to. You know, so could you stop, you know, sending silly messages, please? And they would respond. So okay. Yes, answer your question.
Okay. Mrs. Olaye, what, you know, I know you have something on LinkedIn already. Before she answers, can I encourage us? I was going to say that, you know, educators, we are professionals. Let us be on the professional platform. You should be following yourselves and be following people like she has a wealth. I went on a LinkedIn page yesterday and I saw she makes up I don't want to say the wrong thing, but she had this lovely message that she sent to a student, and it was music. It was, you know, a lot of the children would have loved that. So you get to learn a lot of things for free, a lot of things. Let's use our data for LinkedIn. I'm not saying don't go on Facebook if it's your thing, but, you know, manage these things well. There's so much, there's a wealth of knowledge out there. People are putting out so much for free, and all you have to do is just be in the right place. So like I said, be on LinkedIn. Mrs. Odetunde will be on LinkedIn. Follow her. Follow Raphael, who's on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. When you request, we will follow you back, and, you know, try and read up on posts on LinkedIn. There's so much going on there. So I'll allow Mrs. Olaye to, you know, just talk us through one or two things that is in our post, so that, you know, don't tell them everything so they have to go and read it up. Don't say everything. Yeah, don't say everything. Okay, unmute yourself, because we both, Okay.
Yeah, do you mind repeating the question, please?
So I was saying, you know, work ethics in terms of, you know, being a virtual teacher, some of the
ethics.
Yes, don't share everything, just so they have to go and read. I would really want people to go on LinkedIn. If you're here and you're on LinkedIn, I'm expecting to see you ask me today, and I'll follow you too. And I'm sure Mrs. Olaye, you will be expecting, Mrs. Odetunde will be expecting as well. So we can make this a proper connection from here on.
Yes, so, yes. Like Mr. Owaru said, it's better for us as educators or professionals to connect on an educational platform, and that's what LinkedIn provides. And somebody did ask me if I have a YouTube. I do have YouTube, but I don't post a lot on my YouTube. I have most of my things on LinkedIn. Okay, ethics of virtual classroom. One of the main thing I find with virtual classroom, especially with my students, is where they don't want to open their camera. And as a teacher, you know, it kind of feels like you're talking to yourself, because you're not seeing their faces, you're not seeing the feedback. And I know that I can't see all the panelists, all the attendee faces, but I can see the panelists' faces and I can see their feedback just by body language. Mm-hmm. So, things like having that open, sitting in a quiet area, like I'm using a virtual background because my background is messy. I don't want to distract people. Mr. Raphael has a flat background, so he's facing the wall. He's backing the wall. So, we're just looking at the wall. And so is Miss Odetunde, and Miss Owaro has her books and it's looking so nice. So try, when you are teaching on on a video call, try not to have too many things going on behind you because it's very distracting to the audience. If you feel like you're in a place where there are other people, put on a headphone so that you're just hearing what's being said and it's not a disturbance to others. And maybe, just give your students video etiquette or how would you call it? Virtual school etiquette. And I have that on my LinkedIn where, I just talks about different things. Like in a classroom, it's you and your 20 students, but at home is you, your 20 students, their siblings, their parents, their dog, their cat, everything. So it's a lot. So yeah, go on there, and if you have any questions, just send it to me. I'm very passionate about helping Nigeria. I've been away from Nigeria for, over 25 years, but I'm passionate about Nigeria. I've set up a lot of robotics things for students. I've taken students for tournaments and, different programs. So whatever I can do to help, even how can we help by helping those people that don't have the data, they don't have electricity? What can we do to help them with, educating the future of Nigeria?
Yeah, definitely. That's part of what this is all about. That, like I said, we all have to chip in something. We all have to, because whatever information you're giving away today, that's information that you paid for at some point to learn.
Yes.
And if you've come here today, you've learned something, please teach somebody else. That's the way in Nigeria that we can bridge that gap. Because if we're going to wait until the government starts to do something or until you have enough money, it's going to take a long time. The other thing I'm going to say is capacity on your side is also important. Don't just wait for all the information to be thrown at you. Go out there looking for information. Mrs. Olaye, I said to you now, come to my page. I have so much. Ask me questions. Mr. Ralph said the same thing. You've got Mrs. Odetunde here. We have to be really proactive. Learning is about being proactive, is about seeking. And the more you seek, the more you increase and build capacity. Because we're the ones that will build Nigeria. It's not a political whatever, but if I was asked my opinion, we can't always wait for the government. We have to be able to do something for ourselves. Okay, so I think I can say Mrs. Odetunde has already answered Mr. Obasi was asking about can I stop my Google in between? Can I stop and start? So if there are no other questions, because I can't see questions and answers here, it means we've done pretty much a good job.
You can play and stop your videos in between.
Yeah. I think pretty much there's so much that can be done. Is just, and I think constant practice as well. Constant use. Yes. Don't wait until you have to go. Yes, Mrs. Odetunde, go on.
Sorry, and there's one, we're talking about capacity. There's one thing. I think we should also use what we've got. I know not a lot of people have a laptop or a computer, but one thing I know about Nigerians is most people have this.
Everybody has a phone. Everybody has a phone.
Everybody has a phone.
And the thing about Google is you can have your Google Meet, you can have your classroom, everything you can do on your phone. I've had my classes on my phone when I was teaching Bahrain time in America, which is 8-hour difference, and I'm so tired, and I just pick up my phone and I'm so my background is not showing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So technology has made so much available for us. There's so much, out there. We've been here now close to 2 hours. It doesn't even seem like we've been here for 2 hours. It's quite interesting. It doesn't seem like we've been here. So for all the participants, I'm just going to say, Mrs. Odetunde, I like to encourage teachers. I am one particular person that believes So if you have a word for this time, coming out of post-COVID, the newness of what we're going into, what's your last words in terms of encouraging everybody out there that, you know what, this is our time, really.
Well, you know what? In the UK here, we are called key skills workers, and we have now got some kind of renewed recognition. And that is not just for the UK, that is all over the world. I think parents have now realized how difficult this job could be. I'm not going to lie. So please be proud of what you do, because we are the ones who educate the nation, the doctors, the lawyers. It all started with the teacher. So be proud of what you do. And what I'll say is just, always, when you're a teacher, you cannot stop learning. You cannot stop learning. So go on to Google. It is free. Educate yourself. There is training there. You can teach yourself. We're talking about Nigeria. When I was in Nigeria, I remember at body school, I used to use a lantern to actually, do my examinations and all that. And that is what's given us the grit as Nigerians, wherever we go. So fellow teachers, okay? For me, I love teaching. And I don't even want to go further than probably being an AP, which is an assistant principal, and that's about it. Because I love to be in the classroom. Yeah. So you know what? Please go out there. This is not the time to want money. This is not the time to ask, am I going to get paid? Because it's a vocational job. Give your time and do the best you can. And I'm telling you, in a couple of years' time, you will come across a student who has appreciated you and would say to you one day, I remember you, and I want to say thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Olaye, last words?
Okay, I think I would make last word my teaching philosophy, and that is nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Students will not learn from someone who is not caring, Be a lifelong learner, and just do your best. Love the kids, and it would encourage them to want to come to you to learn. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I have another question here, but and it doesn't take long. Mr. Raphael, just talk them through how to have a virtual background, because it was thrown at you. How do they do a background like Mrs. Olaye years old?
Oh.
Okay, Mr. Olaye, you tell them what you did.
Okay, let me allow her.
Okay, yes, please.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, it's very easy. It's just an option on Zoom, It's just
under settings.
You click on it. But one thing is, this background I went to Google and I looked for a library picture, and then I uploaded it to my phone. And then for the Zoom background, it clicks and it shows you options. They have like 3 options that you can use. Yeah. I did not want any of those, so I uploaded my library background, and then that's what I use. Yes.
Okay. So remember, you can always rewind.
That found under the video setting.
Just under the video setting.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get that.
So like I said, for all the participants, we will send you the link to this video so you can rewind, hear what she said, go and try it, and it should come up. I would like to say a very big thank you. Mr. Raphael, God bless you. Thank you so much. You had so much to teach us. Mrs. Olaye, honestly, I am so in awe of you, because I know you had to, just rustle up something and get online. But thank you so much. I met Mrs. Olaye see, guys, learning is never over. We belong to the same writers club. And she's absolutely amazing. She's very bubbly. This is the professional side of her, you see. But that's okay. Always, new relationships. See, you need to leverage off people. We're professionals. You have the right mannerisms. You meet with people. We all have something. It's trade by barter now. We all have something to offer ourselves, right? With the right kind of. So create your own network. I'm talking from a teacher's point of view. Sometimes we don't think we're professional, but we are professionals. You're hearing from them. We are. Even if in Nigeria they're not recognizing you as key skill workers, you are. Parents know how valuable you are. Even the government knows how valuable you are. We keep praying for our continent, Africa, that we will get it. We will get it. And we'll be able to move ahead and bridge the gap between us and the rest of the world. Yeah. Thank you so much for attending. Yeah. Remember, change comes with building capacity. So you're already doing that. Commit to it. everything you've learned today, go and note it down, the things you still need to research. Okay, I still want to know how to make a virtual background. Oh, Mrs. Odetunde said this. I need to read up a bit more. Oh, Gsuite, Mrs. Fada also on the in the audience said, Google will teach you, and that's true. Google will teach you so much. Take your time, yeah, and we're all in this together. I look forward. Part of why we did this, we might repeat it, is that I just want Nigeria not to lag behind. I just don't want us to lag behind. The other parts of Africa, like I said, I don't know where you're logging in from. I just don't want any lagging behind, and we can do something. Even if there's a gap, it doesn't have to be so wide. Yes, Mrs. Olaye.
There are two people that raised their hand, Juliet Keshinro, and there's a...
Yeah, I was saying they should ask in the chat box. I don't know, because I don't want to start enabling. I was saying they should ask if there's a question. A big thank you to all the panelists. I'm not sure if there's a question, because I don't want to start, can see me squinting everywhere. Wear glasses. I don't know. So I saw those hands. But maybe they were just wanted to say something, and maybe the question has been answered. I want to assume that whatever they desire. So thank you, everyone. We have your emails. We will get in touch. We'll still be working with Mrs. Olaye and Mrs. Odetunde. They're very patient women. I like the way you will know their teachers. That's just it. You will just know their teachers. So, like I said, drop your emails. We'll come back to you and really break this down. The time is never enough, and that's just to show that learning is a process. And so we'll try and package something from Teach to Endure, and we'll reach out, and if you're interested in coming on board, we'll let you know. So thank you so much, ladies. I hope you still have enough time this Saturday to enjoy yourself. Yeah, Mr. Raphael, God bless you. To all the participants, thank you so much for attending. Remember, what you owe us from this webinar is that you learn more. Make sure you understand what you've learned today and teach somebody else what you've learned today. For the guys that are on here, let your school owners know that you need a Gsuite so that they can sort you out, the schools you belong to. And if you still need further clearance, like Mr. Raphael said, just send us an email. You're already on our subscription list. Just send us an email and we'll respond to you as soon as possible. All have a great weekend. God bless everyone.
Thank
Enjoy your Saturday. Yeah. And let's be ready to take on the world. Yeah, we can do this. We can do this. God bless you all. God bless everyone.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Bye.